Let's see if I know how to be an Alex Hormozy. I should not be an Alex Hormozy, but we'll try it. Okay, so I bought a whiteboard. We're going to talk about token marketing. Let me make a few things clear. There are things missing on this board intentionally because it's really based on your product and law. So before you review anything here, talk to your lawyer. It is highly advised because none of this matters unless you understand the law of where you're launching your product, jurisdictions of where you're launching your product, what the product even is, and the last qualifier is your tokenomics and how you deal with market makers and how you deal with listing teams. I'm also not selling a course. I don't sell courses. It's not what I do. The only thing I sell is our advisory and our company. And by the way, this course, I guess, is sponsored by all of my clients. They're pretty amazing individuals, and thank you for your business. All right, what we're talking about is for people who are not launching meme coins. These are particularly for new businesses who are about to launch a product like a startup, have raised some sort of VC money, and they're not launching a shitcoin. We're gonna go through the process of going from figuring out your token marketing all the way to product. And the factors we're going to talk about today, it almost works like a quadratic formula, is earned media, resume media, sales immersion, surprise, delight, despair, and supply shock, SDDSH, and Mindshare drops. All of these factors will determine the price of your token when you launch, as well as the value and interest across social media. We're going to start with earned media. Earned media is media that's generated without you spending your initial budget, okay? And this is really important for startups and a lot of what we focus on in Real Agency, because a lot of our requirements are usually you need to raise at least $5 million, because an average token marketing spend for like a 3-month to 6-month stint can range anywhere from $100,000 to $700,000. Earned media can be things like activating creators without paying them, creating compelling content without having to spend at a high level, as well as how you use your existing Web2 social graph and how you manage your live ops. Let's say there's a new SocialFi product coming out, okay? It's like Fantasy Top. We'll call it the top of fantasy, okay? Now, the top of fantasy has a couple of things going for it. The founder is XY Combinator. The founder lives in Silicon Valley, and the founder used to work at a liquid hedge fund, okay? Their earned media would be the Web2 graph, which is showing how they provided value Web2, which will gain earned media because you spend a little bit on like a Web2 newsletter or post, or you just do any of these Web3 newsletters and posts and they kind of reshare themselves. You'll get a lot of Twitter impressions and maybe YouTube comments and feedback. What also people don't realize is when you have a good Web2 graph, there are 2 channels of marketing that are very niche but do happen to work: Twitter Spaces and Twitter Threaders. But when there's a new project on the block with a reasonable amount of Web2 social graph, people will immediately start speculating on it before you have anything out. So that's immediate earned media, but you need to know what channels to go to. What is referrals? This is the most important thing you can do for your crypto project. Influencers with direct spend are very expensive, and you should not spend frivolously because it'll take probably over 50% of your budget and you're gonna get less than the return of that spend. So you need to have a very creative referral program, okay? For example, we have a client that we just signed called Sleepagachi. What if we did like a sleepy referral? But the idea is if you refer people in your family or you refer your friends, and not only do they claim the code, but they're sleeping on a similar schedule to you, then you can get a multiplier on your referral. All right, next is resume media. Now, in a past video, I spoke about the 3 circles of influence, which are the VC, the speculator, and the drama creator. Basically, it's if someone co-signs you. Like, for example, NLG would not be at the token price it is today if FaZe Banks didn't co-sign with his resume that NLG is a legit token. Speculator looks at Angel's resume and VC. Then they look at the company's LinkedIn. What are your backgrounds? Are you a good founder? That will be referenced in your Web2 graph. And once they read the Web2 graph, then the speculator confirms whether they like or deny. That is then usually sent out of the Cabal chat into a drama chat. That is pretty much how you get resume media and confirmation. Now, then the next is sales immersion. In Web2 product land, the whole message of a product is it should be so easy to buy something that you don't even realize you bought it. A Netflix subscription, buying a game on PlayStation 5 without having to go to Best Buy. Sales immersion is when the sale is actually obscured. In Web3, it is completely different. When I know I'm spending a lot of money on something, I want an experience that reflects the money I'm putting into it. DGods launched an NFT. They were very good at video marketing. They're honestly a masterclass in product marketing. But they did something extraordinary when the Utes came out. Frank and his team built like this 3D carnival system when you logged into the site, and it was like playing a carnival game to get a Ute. And it was very 3D. Like you clicked a button, some music came on, the lights came on, you minted out a Ute, and people were like, oh my God, I got a Ute. It was really cool because the immersion was there. Unlike Web 2 where it's obscure, you knew you were spending a lot of money, but it felt like Frank appreciated the money that you gave him because he returned that with an experience that excited everyone. It was novel. This is kind of what you're looking for, and it's a case-by-case basis. Let us go to part 2, and this is where we talk about SDDSH. Every company and token will go through SDDSH in crypto. When your token launches and you figure out your token marketing, you figured out all these sales immersion, you're now going to be at the launch, and you're going to go through the psychological order of surprise, delight, despair, and then supply shock. If you do it right, you get the supply shock. If you don't do it right, you die at despair. Surprise and delight. Do something unexpected, which comes from sales immersion, and then delight with either money or product or experience. In crypto, the reality is money. We are a financialized industry. Let's give you an example. By the way, the team has decided to reduce their allocation and give more of that to all the people who are contributing to the ecosystem. So now when people expected $100, now they're actually getting $500. And people go, wow, they are really one of us. They're part of the community. That's a surprise. And they're delighted to earn they got more money. Now you're going to the next part, and this is for every single token. So if you think that you guys fucked up, you didn't. It is the process of every single token to go through this, and we call this the despair period. And a lot of our clients get scared at this part, the despair part. They think they're doing something wrong. They're not. The point here is surviving despair. And you survive despair by quietly building your product with hint marketing. Now, during the period that you're building your product, you're gonna have little bits of content, little bits of airdrops, things to keep your holders at bay, but don't be surprised when people sell off your token. It's not a reflection that your token is invaluable. It's a reflection that 1, it takes a while to build a product and there's an expectation. 2, you just gave people a bunch of free money and people don't have a lot of money in the world, so of course they need to make money. And 3, there's a lot of different other projects in crypto, so people are gonna rotate very quickly here. And you're not Bitcoin, and you can't pretend to be Bitcoin. Okay, now after about a few months or so, or a month or 2 months, you're gonna get to the secondary part here, which is your supply shock. Now what you do, and this is why you need your VC capital, is when you get to a point that you're ready to announce the next thing in your token marketing strategy, the next product, you're then gonna do either a token burn, a supply cut, a new airdrop, or you're going to do some sort of liquid staking, liquid pool, or you're going to do some sort of node validation because you need to satiate despair. And when there's a supply shock plus a product announcement, a new product announcement, you should go back to surprise and delight. And you're going to keep going through this cycle, okay? You need to understand every season that you launch a new product, you're always going to go through this every season. If you're not prepared for this, do not launch a token. Now, next. This is a new part of token marketing strategy, and that is Mindshare drops, okay? These are based on third-party analytics companies who created SocialFi schemas, and you can use their data in order to give out drops, assets, NFTs, rev share, referrals, whatever, through these methods and through SDDSH. And you'll want to use things like Kaito, Ethos, and a bunch of others. I'll make a list of SocialFi apps. But Mindshare drops are incredibly, incredibly important, and you should not fade them. Add this into your tokenomics. An example, Barachain just did it and people are happier than a pig in shit. Azuki did this, people are happier than a pig in shit. This is basically what a timeline for a token marketing launch looks like. What it does not talk about, market makers, listing fees, whales and how to manage whales, how to handle large dumps, how to add your own liquidity. There's a lot that goes into token marketing and it's way harder than Web 2 marketing. And I don't even know how the hell I got into this job. I did. This is token marketing. These are the facets of everything that goes into your budget. Thank you for watching. I'm pressing the stop record button and see you in the next video.